The digital clock displayed 11:47 p.m. as my chemistry textbook became a blur before my tired eyes. I forced myself to blink, attempting to concentrate on electron configurations while numerous empty coffee mugs surrounded my workspace like tombstones. Only 9 hours remained until my final exam, 9 crucial hours to absorb an entire semester's worth of biochemistry knowledge. My desk lamp bathed my notes in amber light, and I strained to read molecular diagrams until they merged into incomprehensible shapes. My phone vibrated against the wooden surface. Vanessa's contact appeared on the illuminated screen. My heart sank. I recognized that distinctive ringtone, the special alert I'd assigned to my sister after her 3rd crisis this semester. The device continued its relentless buzzing. I observed it sliding across my chemistry notes, hoping desperately it would cease. But Vanessa was persistent. Always persistent. She never gave up until she achieved her goal. After the 7th ring, I reluctantly answered.
Hello, fun.
Claire. Her voice wavered with emotion. I need your help for just a couple of hours tomorrow. The familiar tension formed in my throat. Tomorrow? But I have my chemistry final. It's for a medical appointment, she explained. In the background, an infant's wails pierced the air. Ella, based on the pitch. I wouldn't reach out if it weren't crucial. My mother's voice resonated in my memory. Family comes first, no matter the circumstances. These words had been embedded in my consciousness since childhood, alongside the periodic table elements. I massaged my temples with trembling fingers. What time? I asked reluctantly. Just the morning session. 3 hours maximum. I'll collect them by 2 p.m. 3 hours. My exam commenced at 9 a.m. Sacrificing review time would be catastrophic. I really need to prepare. Please, Claire. Her voice cracked with desperation. There's nobody else I can turn to. Mom's occupied with work, and you understand how Leo reacts around unfamiliar people. Hearing my 4-year-old nephew's name tugged at my heartstrings. Leo, who affectionately called me Aunt Claire and created stick figure drawings of scientists because he knew about my medical aspirations. I examined my planner, where every hour was meticulously divided into precise 15-minute segments. 3 hours of babysitting meant 3 hours less study time. The mathematics didn't compute, but they never did when Vanessa called. Just 3 hours. I finally conceded. I must return to studying by 2 p.m. You're absolutely wonderful. The tears vanished from her voice, replaced by bright relief. I'll bring them over at 8 a.m. I disconnected and reset my alarm 30 minutes earlier, 7 a.m. instead of 7:30. Every single minute mattered now. However, Vanessa arrived at 8:45 a.m. Her hair appeared disheveled, and her makeup was partially applied. Baby Ella wore a stained outfit while Leo gripped his dinosaur backpack, one foot wearing a sock and the other bare. Leo's other shoe is somewhere in the vehicle, Vanessa announced, forcing an overstuffed diaper bag into my arms. Ella just finished eating, and Leo enjoys apple juice. There's some in the bag. I attempted to catch her arm. Van, you promised 8 o'clock. I know, sorry about that. She hastily applied lipstick, which was smeared beyond the lip line. Traffic was terrible. Oh, and I might have lunch with Sarah after my appointment. Just 1 additional hour, tops. My chest constricted. But you said. You're amazing, she interrupted, quickly kissing each child before lingering slightly longer with Ella. Something flickered in her expression. Guilt, perhaps fear. Then she was gone, her coat billowing as she rushed down the corridor. I caught a glimpse of sequined fabric beneath her practical brown wool coat. Not typical attire for a medical appointment. The door clicked shut. Leo tugged at my sweater with sticky fingers and announced, I'm starving. All right, buddy. I lifted Ella higher on my hip, attempting to balance her against my biochemistry textbook. Let's prepare some breakfast. Ella began fussing, and I gently bounced her while searching through the diaper bag with my free hand. My phone buzzed with a message from my professor. Review session commencing now. Final opportunity before the exam. I silenced the device and retrieved a juice box for Leo. He squeezed too vigorously, causing apple juice to spray across 3 pages of my meticulously color-coded study guide. My hands trembled as I cleaned the spill. The molecular structures blurred and merged together, stained and sticky, like everything Vanessa influenced. Hours passed. 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, my unanswered messages accumulated. Where are you? The appointment should be finished by now. Please contact me. I need to study. At 5:47 p.m., I paced my small dormitory room with Ella crying against my shoulder while Leo constructed a fort from my pillows. My professor's name appeared on my phone, the third missed call. When it finally rang at 9:30 p.m., I answered so quickly, I nearly dropped Ella.
Fun.
Music pounded through the speaker. Laughter. The unmistakable sound of slot machines. Claire. Vanessa's voice floated through the chaos, loose and slurred. Slight change of plans. Could you keep them overnight? The room spun. I sank onto my bed, still holding Ella. My final is in 11 hours, Vanessa. My voice emerged strained and tight. Where are you? But I already knew. The better question was, what was I going to do about it? My phone screen glowed in the darkness. 14 missed calls, 23 text messages. My thumb hovered over Vanessa's contact. The clock read 3:47 a.m., and somewhere in the apartment, Leo whimpered in his sleep. Vanessa, please. My voice broke as I recorded another voicemail. It's been 24 hours. Just confirm you're safe. The words echoed in the kitchen where I stood barefoot on cold linoleum. A formula bottle sat half-prepared on the counter, powder scattered like snow around its base. My hands shook as I ended the call. 1 hour. I'd give her 1 more hour before contacting the police. The thought made my stomach clench. I imagined the conversation. Yes, officer. My sister abandoned her children with me. No, officer. She didn't specify her destination. Yes, officer, I'm only 18. Leo's whimper escalated into a cry. I shuffled toward the bedroom, my legs heavy with exhaustion. He sat up in the nest of blankets I'd arranged on my floor, his Spider-Man pajamas twisted around his small body. When's Mommy returning? His lower lip trembled. Soon, I lied. Let's get you some water, buddy. In the kitchen, my phone buzzed. My heart leaped, but it was only my mother returning my frantic earlier calls. Have you heard from her? I asked without greeting. Oh, sweetheart, you know how Vanessa operates. Mom's voice carried that familiar dismissive tone. She's done this before. She'll return. Done what before? Abandoned her children? Don't be so dramatic, Claire. She probably just needed a break. The words stung like a physical blow. I thought of my biochemistry final, Professor Wilson's voicemail about automatic failure, Leo's tear-stained face, and Ella's endless crying. I'm calling the police, I declared. Claire Elizabeth Morgan, don't you dare, Mom's voice sharpened. We handle family matters within the family. I ended the call. My fingers trembled as I dialed 911. Each ring felt eternal until a calm voice answered. 911, what's your emergency? I need to report. The words caught in my throat. My sister left her children with me yesterday morning. She hasn't returned. She's not answering calls. The dispatcher's voice remained steady. How long has she been gone? 26 hours. I swallowed hard. She claimed she had a medical appointment. She was supposed to return in 3 hours. And the children's ages? Leo is 4. Ella is 8 months. After a pause, we'll dispatch an officer to take a report. The next hour blurred together. Officer Martinez arrived, standing in my cramped dorm room with notepad in hand, his expression mixing sympathy with something else, something that tightened my chest. Sounds like she needed a break from parental responsibilities, he said, echoing my mother's words. This occurs sometimes with young mothers. She claimed she had a medical appointment. I pulled up the hospital's number on my phone. Could you verify? He made the call. I watched his face as he listened, knowing the answer before he spoke. No record of any appointment for Vanessa Morgan yesterday. My world tilted sideways. I gripped the edge of my desk for stability. I'll issue a welfare check, Officer Martinez said. But if she's simply taking personal time? Personal time? The words emerged sharp. She left her baby without adequate formula. Leo has school tomorrow. This isn't personal time. He scribbled something in his notepad, probably noting my tone, my age, my obvious inability to manage this situation. After he departed, I sat at my computer. My hands moved automatically, typing Vanessa's name into Facebook. The page loaded. This user has blocked you. Instagram next. Blocked. Twitter. Blocked. The reality crashed over me like a wave. This wasn't an emergency. This wasn't a mistake. This was premeditated. In the kitchen, I counted formula scoops with shaking hands. 4 bottles remaining. Maybe 5 if I stretched them. Leo needed lunch for tomorrow, but the sandwich bread had grown moldy. My last $20 sat in my wallet, meant for my bus pass to get to my now-failed final. A knock on the wall startled me. Keep the noise down in there. My neighbor's voice carried through the thin drywall. That baby's been crying for hours. I looked at Ella, red-faced and screaming in her makeshift bed, a laundry basket lined with blankets. I'd changed her diaper 3 times, but nothing provided relief. My hands shook as I attempted to warm another bottle, formula spilling across the counter. I'm sorry, I whispered, though I wasn't sure to whom. To Ella, to Leo, to myself. I retrieved my phone and started a new note. Day 2 without Vanessa. I typed, then added the time and date. I took photographs, the empty formula containers, Leo's tear-stained face, the failed diaper changes evident in the rash spreading across Ella's skin. Evidence. I needed evidence. My professor's voicemail played again in my head. Missing this final means course failure. Family emergencies require documentation. I emailed him anyway, attaching photos of the police report. His response came quickly. Personal family matters are not excused absences without prior arrangement. The syllabus is clear on this point. The alarm on my phone chimed, the one set for my final. I silenced it with trembling fingers, then slid down the kitchen wall until I hit the floor. Ella's cries had turned to whimpers. Leo slept fitfully on my bed, his small body curled around my pillow. In the bathroom mirror, a stranger stared back at me. Dark circles ringed my eyes. My hair hung limp and unwashed. Formula stains marked my last clean shirt. My phone rang. The screen displayed Vanessa's name. My hand shook so badly, I almost dropped it as I answered. Hey, how are the kids doing? Her voice was light, casual. In the background, I heard the distinctive electronic sounds of slot machines, the sound of distant cheering. You're in Vegas. The words came out as a whisper. Oh my God, Claire. You won't believe it. I met this guy at the bar yesterday, and he just happened to have an extra ticket. I stopped listening. The slot machines kept ringing in my ears, a mocking chorus of bells and whistles while my world collapsed in a dorm room 500 miles away. My fingers gripped the phone so tightly my knuckles turned white. When are you coming home? The question scraped my throat raw. Soon. Ice clinked against glass. Someone shouted about drinks. Hey, Tony. Yeah, I'll take another martini. The line went dead. I stared at my reflection in the dark window. Dark circles carved valleys under my eyes, and baby formula crusted the collar of my wrinkled t-shirt. Behind me, the physics textbook lay abandoned on the kitchen counter, mocking all my plans for finals week. A knock at the door startled me. Emily from my chemistry study group stood in the hallway, clutching a CVS bag. I got your text. She pushed past me, pulling out containers of formula and a fresh pack of diapers. The store was almost closed, but I made it. My chin trembled. You didn't have to. Yes, I did. She squeezed my arm. When's the last time you slept? I shook my head, unable to remember. The next morning, Professor Wilson took one look at me standing in his office doorway and held up his hand. Miss Morgan, you look like you haven't slept in days. I can take the final. I just need. What you need is rest. He pulled out a form from his desk. I'm approving a deferred exam. Family emergency. But the department policy. The policy exists for situations exactly like this. He signed the bottom with a flourish. Take care of yourself and those children. The exam will be here when you're ready. I clutched the paper, vision blurring. That afternoon, Mrs. Henderson from next door found me attempting to soothe Ella's colicky screams. Without a word, she lifted the baby from my arms and demonstrated a gentle bouncing motion. Like this, dear. Support her head and pat her back in rhythm. Ella's cries softened to whimpers. My Tommy was the same way 30 years ago. I watched her expert movements, memorizing the pattern. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. You're doing nothing wrong, she settled into the rocking chair. That sister of yours, though. My hands trembled so badly, I dropped the bottle I'd been warming. Glass shattered across the linoleum. Leo's Batman cup tumbled from the counter in my scramble to clean up, spraying apple juice everywhere. I can't, the room spun. My skin burned fever-hot. I need to. The mop handle clattered against the cabinets as I slumped to the floor. Mrs. Henderson's worried face swam above me. I can't do this anymore. The words came out between sobs. I'm failing them. I'm failing everyone. That night, after both kids finally slept, I sat at the kitchen table with my planner. Page by page, I wrote out their schedule. Bottles. Naps. Leo's favorite snacks.
LAS préfère de swaddling technique.
The paper grew damp with tears. I washed every bottle until it sparkled. Folded tiny onesies into perfect squares. Spent my last $20 on the exact brand of diapers Ella needed for her sensitive skin. My voice shook as I recorded the final entry in my log. Day 4 without Vanessa. No contact since Vegas call. Children fed, bathed, homework complete. Leo asked about mommy again. I didn't know what to say. A strange calm settled over me as I packed my own bag. One change of clothes, my laptop, the physics textbook I hadn't opened in days. Your mommy will be home soon, I whispered, stroking Leo's hair as he slept. He clutched his stuffed dinosaur, thumb in his mouth. For years old and already learning that people leave. Ella stirred in her crib. I traced her tiny features with my finger, the bow of her lips, the curve of her cheek. So much trust in such a small package. My mother's number blinked on my phone screen. Better to send the documentation now before I lost my nerve. 4 days of detailed logs, photos, timestamps, the Vegas call recording, everything. The key scraped in the lock just past midnight. Vanessa burst in, phone pressed to her ear, golden 10 glowing in the dim light. God, Vegas was incredible. I totally lost track of time. She tossed her designer bag onto the counter, scattering my carefully arranged care notes. The pool parties were insane. You should have seen. She finally noticed my expression.
What?
They're fine, aren't they? You always handle everything. The word stuck in my throat. I missed my final. I called the police. You're being so dramatic. She waved her hand dismissively. It was just a few days. I needed a break. The police filed a report. Child Services. Can you shut up? She flopped onto the couch.
I'm exhausted.
Something inside me went very, very still. I stood, movements precise, gathered my bag, straightened the care schedule on the counter where she'd scattered it.
Ella schuft brating.
Leo's dinosaur tucked against his chest. The gentle hum of the baby monitor. The door clicked shut behind me without a sound. When does family loyalty end and self-respect begin? Have you ever had to walk away from toxic family? Share your experience. The next day, the train window reflected my hollow eyes back at me. Dark circles carved beneath them like bruises. My hands rested in my lap, skin raw and red from 4 days of washing bottles, changing diapers, living someone else's life. The woman sitting across from me kept glancing over, probably wondering if I was ill. Maybe I was. The weight of my phone in my pocket feels substantial, filled with proof. 4 days' worth of meticulous records, photographs, whispered audio recordings made at 3 a.m. in my exhaustion, the careful documentation of my sister's deception, my mother's deliberate ignorance, a family's habit of exploiting the dependable one until she crumbles. I retrieve my phone, my thumb lingering over the send all button I prepared last night. The file will reach Mom, Aunt Sarah, Aunt Beth, everyone who must witness exactly what transpired while Vanessa vacationed in Vegas. Everyone who must comprehend why I finally departed.
My thumb makes contact.
A gentle swoosh signals the conclusion. 3 seconds elapse before Mom's name illuminates my screen. I mute it, observing her call dissolve into a missed notification. Then another. And another. The stillness between each chime feels like authorization to exhale. My phone vibrates with Mom's message. You could have just remained one more day. A chuckle emerges from my throat, harsh and acrid like bitter coffee. One more day. Always one more day. One more request. One more crisis. One more sacrifice of my time, my education, my existence. To compensate for Vanessa's latest vanishing act. Aunt Sarah's voicemail follows. I had no clue Vanessa would do this. The deception in her voice stings more than honesty. They all knew. They'd observed Vanessa abandon her children with me countless times before. They simply never had to witness the consequences. Never had to see what it demanded for me to repair her disasters. But Aunt Beth's message arrives differently. You can stay with me if you need distance. No questions asked. My eyes sting as I respond with a simple yes. The first word I've spoken to any of them since departing Vanessa's apartment. 2 hours later, I sink into Beth's guest bedroom. The silence echoes in my ears.
No waling infant, no toddler meltdowns.
No persistent undercurrent of dread about what catastrophe might emerge next. Just tranquility. I slumber for 14 hours continuously. When I awaken, Beth has left soup simmering on the stove and fresh linens in the bathroom. I glimpse my reflection as I rinse my face. The shadows beneath my eyes haven't disappeared, but something else has shifted. My shoulders have released from their permanent tension. My jaw has unclenched. Professor Wilson's email arrives while I'm nibbling the soup. Deferred exam approved. Documentation received. The relief strikes so forcefully, I must sit down. One fragment of my life rescued from the devastation Vanessa left behind. In the following days, I consume proper meals. I bathe without hurrying. Color returns to my face like watercolor spreading across paper. And on the fourth evening at Beth's, while folding laundry that smells like lavender instead of spit up, I finally shatter. The tears emerge from somewhere profound and primitive, tearing through my chest as if they might destroy me. Beth discovers me on the floor, surrounded by partially folded towels, wailing like an injured creature. She doesn't attempt to repair it, just sits beside me, hands firm on my shoulder while years of suppressed anguish spills out. The text from Vanessa arrives a week later. You promised to watch Leo while I take Ella to her Saturday appointment. Don't bail now. My finger hovers over the reply button. The old impulse screams to agree, to maintain harmony, to be the good sister, the reliable aunt, the eternal safety net. Vanessa's dismissive gesture flashes through my mind. You're being so overdramatic. The sound of gambling machines in the background while I changed her infant's diaper at 3 a.m., the casual way she returned to her apartment, bronzed and refreshed while I stood there surviving on caffeine and sheer determination. I placed the phone face down on Beth's kitchen counter. You don't owe her anything, Beth says quietly, squeezing my shoulder as she passes. The simple reality of it settles into my bones. A week later, through the family network, I learn about Vanessa's trip to the pediatric clinic, how she struggled to handle both children alone. How the nurse recognized her name from the missing persons report I filed. How Vanessa's typical excuses crumbled against professional doubt. She was 40 minutes late, Aunt Sarah reports. Voice hushed, like sharing rumors rather than evidence of neglect. They made a notation in Ella's file, something about welfare concerns. The consequences spread. Friends who once facilitated Vanessa's behavior begin withdrawing. Mom's daily voicemails become increasingly desperate, pleading with me to just speak to your sister. She's really trying now. The official letter from Child Protective Services arrives at Beth's house, forwarded from my dormitory address. Vanessa must attend mandatory parenting classes, weekly check-ins, supervised visits if she leaves the kids with anyone. Her voicemail crackles with fury. Are you satisfied now? They're making me take classes. This is all your fault. I delete it without responding. The acceptance letter from the Denver Summer Research Program arrives on a Tuesday morning. The crisp letterhead displays my name, my future, my opportunity to breathe free air unpolluted by obligation and guilt. My smile feels unfamiliar on my face as I sign the acceptance form. I don't inform Mom, don't tell Vanessa. Don't announce it on social media where family can see. This piece of happiness belongs to me alone. Later that night, I pack the single photograph I kept of Leo and Ella. Their bright eyes gaze up at me from the frame, Leo's gap-toothed smile, Ella's chubby hands reaching for the camera. My heart constricts. I trace their faces through the glass, memorizing details I might lose. Then I wrap the frame carefully in tissue paper and tuck it into my desk drawer. Some loves must be held from a distance to avoid drowning in them. I close the drawer gently, letting the click of the latch mark the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. One where I choose myself first, where my voice rings clear and true, where no is not a betrayal, but a battle cry. They'll call it abandonment, running away, selfishness. I call it survival. A month later, the microscope clicks into focus under my fingers. Through the lens, bacterial colonies spread across the petri dish in perfect, predictable patterns. Here, in the sterile quiet of the Denver Research Lab, everything makes sense. No chaos, no drama, no last-minute emergencies that aren't actually emergencies at all. I adjust my lab coat, still crisp with newness, and make another note in my research log. Around me, other students and researchers move with purpose, focused on their own projects. None of them know about the trail of broken promises and manipulated guilt I left behind in Meadowbrook. None of them care that I haven't spoken to my sister in 32 days. Hey, wanna grab lunch? My lab partner, Rachel, leans against my workstation. That new sandwich place opened across the street. Give me 5 minutes to finish this culture count. Rachel nods and wanders off to gather her things. My phone buzzes in my pocket, the special vibration pattern I set for family messages. I don't need to look to know it's another text from Vanessa. They've been coming more frequently lately, a desperate digital drumbeat. Where are you?
Mom won't tell me.
Answer your phone. Claire, this isn't funny. You can't just disappear like this. I click to the next microscope field, counting methodically. My mother's voicemails accumulate too, her tone shifting from worried to pleading. Please call me back, Claire. I know you're upset, but we're still family. Family. The word doesn't mean what it used to. A letter arrived yesterday, forwarded from my old address. The letter had made my hands tremble when I opened it. Required parenting classes, mandatory supervision. The consequences Vanessa never thought would catch up to her, spelled out in clean, bureaucratic type. The microscope slides out of focus. I blink hard, realigning the lens. Earth to Claire. Rachel waves a hand in front of my face. You okay? You've been staring at that same spot for like 5 minutes.
Sorry.
Got lost in thought. I push back from the microscope, stripping off my latex gloves. Lunch sounds good. My new roommate Kate notices too. That evening, she perches on the edge of my bed while I fold laundry, watching me match socks with mechanical precision. You never talk about your family, she says carefully. Bad blood. I smooth a wrinkle from a t-shirt. Something like that. My phone lights up again. Vanessa's number flashes on the screen. No voicemail this time. She's learning I won't listen to them anyway. But 2 days later, Aunt Beth's message lands like a stone in my stomach. Vanessa showed up at my house looking for you. She seemed different, more scared than angry. In the following weeks, the family gathering photos start appearing on Facebook. Cousin Sarah's graduation party. Uncle Mike's retirement barbecue. In every shot, the space where I should be stands empty. Mom's smile looks strained. Vanessa holds Leo and Ella close, her eyes searching the edges of every frame like she might find me lurking there. Her complaints don't find the same sympathetic audience anymore. The story spins differently when I'm not there to absorb the blame, to smooth things over, to make excuses. The family system creaks and shifts, readjusting to my absence like a body learning to walk with a missing limb. My phone rings on a Wednesday night, 2 months since I walked away. Vanessa's number. My finger hovers over decline, but something makes me answer. The silence stretches between us for 3 heartbeats. Guess you're just going to ghost your family. Her voice crackles with familiar venom. That's cold. I take a slow breath, tasting the words before I speak them. I didn't disappear. I just stopped making excuses for people who do. The silence returns, heavier this time. I hear her breathing change. The CPS worker said I could lose them. Her voice cracks on the last word. All the acid drains away, leaving something raw and frightened underneath. What did you think would happen when you left them? The question comes out steady, neutral. Not cruel, but not gentle either. I don't, she swallows hard. What am I supposed to do now? Take responsibility for your choices. A sound catches in her throat, half laugh, half sob. I messed up. I know that now. I say nothing. Let the weight of her words fill the space between us. I'm taking these parenting classes. Her voice steadies slightly. They make sense, you know? And I started therapy last week. The counselor says I have to deal with my abandonment issues from Dad leaving. This is your journey to make, I tell her, not mine. She starts to protest, then stops herself. Progress, maybe. When we hang up, my hands don't shake. My chest feels lighter, like setting down a burden I've carried so long I forgot its weight. The calendar on my wall shows Thanksgiving approaching. I trace the dates with my finger, considering. Kate appears in my doorway with a mug of tea. You're thinking about going home, aren't you? I nod slowly. I think I am. Are you sure you're ready? A smile tugs at my lips as I pack my weekend bag, movements calm and deliberate. I check my flight confirmation one more time before answering. I'm not the one who needs to be ready. My hand trembles on the brass doorknob of my mother's house. The November wind whips fallen leaves around my ankles, and my stomach churns as memories flood back. I close my eyes, draw in a breath that smells of wood smoke and impending snow, and turn the handle. Mom stands in the doorway, her face lined with months I've missed, silver threads now dominating her temples where there used to be patches of gray. She opens her arms and I step into them. The hug feels different, tentative, like we're both handling crystal that might shatter. Claire. Her voice breaks on my name. I follow her inside, noting changes. New photos line the hallway wall where there used to be only Vanessa's children. Among them, I spot my Denver research pictures. Mom must have gotten them from Aunt Beth. The house feels smaller than before, cozier yet more confined, like a sweater that once swallowed me whole now pulls tight across my shoulders. Beth swoops in from the kitchen, flour dusting her apron. There's my brilliant niece, she announces, pride radiating from her smile. Everyone, come meet Claire. She's doing incredible research on cellular regeneration in Denver. Mom's hand flutters near my elbow, hesitating before speaking. Would you like some coffee, honey? I got those vanilla beans you use, she stops herself. Or, would you prefer something else? The absence of automatic assumption feels strange, like missing a stair step in the dark. Coffee would be wonderful, Mom. A door slams outside. Mom tenses, but doesn't rush to help as Vanessa struggles through the front door, juggling bags and children. My sister looks different. Designer clothes replaced by practical jeans and a warm sweater. Her face bears little makeup, and her eyes focus on her children instead of her phone. Auntie Claire. Leo barrels toward me, his small body colliding with my legs. I missed you so much. Did you see my turkey picture? I made it just for you. My throat tightens as I ruffle his hair, noting how much he's grown. I can't wait to see it, buddy. Vanessa sets down her bags, our eyes meeting across the foyer. The air grows thick with unspoken words. She looks younger somehow, stripped of her carefully constructed facade. More like the sister I remember from childhood, before life's sharp edges hardened her. Claire. Her voice wavers. Can we talk? In the kitchen? I follow her, my feet remembering the path across worn linoleum. Steam rises from the coffee maker, and somewhere upstairs a clock chimes noon. We stand facing each other, the granite counter between us like a border marking separate territories. Tears fill Vanessa's eyes. I don't know how to make this right. You might not be able to. The words come out steady, surprised by my own calm. She pulls a folded paper from her back pocket, a certificate with an official seal. I finish the parenting course. Her fingers trace the edge of the document. And this. She reaches into her purse, withdrawing a spiral notebook filled with cramped writing. My therapy journal. Dr. Marshall says I should share it with you. I don't reach for either item. Why? Because I never realized. Her voice cracks. God, Claire, I never understood how much I took advantage of you. How much? She presses her lips together, fighting for control. You were 18. You should have been living your life, not raising my children. The familiar urge to comfort her rises, but I let it pass. I will always love Leo and Ella. I know. She wipes her eyes with the back of her hand. But I will never be your emergency childcare again. The words ring clear in the quiet kitchen. Not ever. Vanessa, I understand. She nods, no argument springing to her lips. Do you? Yes. She meets my gaze. We can build something new, but it has to be different. I know that now. In the living room, Ella's delighted squeal draws our attention. I step around Vanessa to see my niece, so much bigger now, toddling toward me with outstretched arms. Up, she demands, and I lift her, breathing in baby shampoo and graham crackers. Leo appears with a crayon drawing. Look, Auntie Claire, this is from when you took care of us. See, you're reading me a story, and Ella's in her bouncy chair. It's beautiful, I manage, fighting the tightness in my chest. Mom appears at my elbow. I'm sorry, she whispers. I didn't see it clearly before. I was wrong, Claire. So wrong. Across the room, Vanessa watches us, something like respect replacing the entitled expectation I'd grown used to seeing in her eyes. When dinner is ready, everyone pitches in, carrying dishes, filling water glasses, helping Leo with his plate. No one assumes I'll do it all. Later, I help Leo with another drawing while Vanessa cleans up without being asked. Our eyes meet across the room, understanding passing between us. Bittersweet, but real. Some bridges can't be rebuilt exactly as they were. Sometimes they must be designed anew, with stronger foundations and clearer boundaries. Standing at the sink, watching leaves dance across the darkening yard, I realize that saying no isn't cruel. It's what you do when yes has cost you too much. Like a bone that breaks and heals stronger, some relationships need that clean break to mend properly. The sound of Leo's laughter mingles with the clink of dishes and the soft murmur of family conversation. Not perfect, not like it was, but maybe, just maybe, better than before.